Justin wants to return, and we let him work at it a couple weeks, and so he'll rotate in from this point on.
All right, is that just something to mix it up from Cooper, or is that just a different style that you're looking to move on punt return?
Coop plays a lot of plays, and Blackman plays a lot of plays, and so it gives us a chance to get one of them off the field, really Cooper, because otherwise he's returned a lot. So if those guys rotate, it gets one of them off the field for a few plays.
Gilbert brought it out from 4 yards the other day, 4 yards deep. Is that, you mentioned 4 yards, is that kind of the cutoff?
I'd prefer to not bring it out deeper than 4. Their guy the other day, I don't know exactly, it looked like to me he was 5 or 6 deep when he brought it out. That guy's really fast too. There was wind went by when he passed by me. 20 feet from me, and I could feel him running by me. Was that Fozzie? Yeah. Fozzie's fast. What year is he?
Senior. Yeah, senior.
He's really fast. We had a couple guys had a chance to tackle him, and it's misleading how fast he is. You kind of reach for him, and he's over there by that wall. But 4 yards, Bill.
Did Texas just execute it right on that one, or was that an Oklahoma State failure?
Well, we had 2 guys that had a chance to get him. One of them's effort wasn't as good as we thought, and it was interesting. He took a bad angle to start with because he didn't really understand how fast he was, and then when he got there, he should have handled it differently, and then we missed a tackle. And then you flip over Gilbert's, the same thing happened for them. They had 2 guys miss a tackle, and then he made the kicker miss at the last play, and that's what usually takes place on a kickoff return. You've got a guy that has the ball in his hands that's electrifying, and Parrish used to do it all the time. Make 4 or 5 guys miss and go score. Dez did it.
Is that the beauty and the curse of having Quinn Sharp on kickoffs, though, that maybe your coverage guys, they presume it's a touchback and they might?
They're told every time on the sideline, don't take for granted that they won't bring it out, because that is an issue, because you run down there and he kicks it out so many times that they're told every time before they go on the field, don't relax, because they may bring it out.
Coach, talk about Jeremy Smith and how he's played the last couple of games and kind of kept his head on even though he split time with Joseph.
You've heard me mention several times in the last month about our offensive players, our skill guys have to be unselfish, because there's about nine or 10 guys that can play in a game for us, and we're comfortable and they can make plays. Now, obviously, Joe Randall may play more, or Blackman may play more, or Coop, or however that falls. But the guys that can come in behind him can make some plays. And they have to be unselfish. And if you're going to be a good football team, you can't play any other way, because there's not enough footballs to go around. There's not enough plays in a game to go around to keep everybody happy statistically, to put themselves in position for national attention. And he's done a great job with that. He's worked hard, and he's never said a word. He's been tough. And my message to them each week has been, I don't know who's going to make that play, but everybody's got to be ready. And fortunately, you talked about the team chemistry, they've all bought into that. And that's very important. And I've said this before, but I've used the basketball scenario. You can't have 5 All-Americans out there trying to score 35 points a game. It won't work in the locker room. Somebody's got to set a screen, somebody's got to dive for a loose ball, somebody's got to set a pick. And we've got guys that are willing to do that on our team right now.
Coming out of the Texas game, there was a national article that was pretty much attacking about the team. Do you let those bother you when you read them, or do you just not try to pay attention?
Well, first thing is I didn't read it. Second thing is it was brought to my attention on a teleconference. And I'm really not going to, because I don't need to read about my own program. I know what's going on. And secondly, and I really don't know the information in there, just a little bit of it. It kind of hurts me for whoever would write an article to attack our players for what they've accomplished up to this point. I really feel sorry for that person that got to have something else to do. I mean, for our team. I mean, go off on the coaches or something. I don't know who all they went off on, but the 132 guys that are in that locker room, wow, those 40 guys that have been playing, they've done pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't kick them out of the car.
You talked a lot about, at the start of the season, just about the buzz and the expectations around campus and just around Stillwater. Now that you're sitting at 6-0 for the BCS standings, just how would you now describe just how excited people are, just what the vibe is like around here still?
Oh, I think our players are excited. I knew that question was going to come up about the BCS, and the honest thing to say as a coach is for us to say that our team's not excited, that our secretaries aren't excited, that our fans aren't excited, that the people down at the bagel shop, I ran down here to Louis to eat. Everybody's wearing OSU football stuff, so the excitement's out there. And I think as coaches, we ought to be honest and just say, hey, I'm pretty fired up too. I mean, I'd rather be there than not on the chart or whatever that thing is. So there's a lot of excitement. The second part of that is, as we all know, there's a lot of work that's left. I mean, we got 4 or 5 days here to get ready for Missouri. Missouri's going to give us all we can handle, and they could care less what we are in the BCS. And then next week, whoever it is we play next, they'll feel the same way. So our approach as a staff and with our team is if you start reading too much or start to believe too much about what people say about you and it affects your preparation, then that next team will show you a trick. But there's a lot of excitement here. The ramifications in recruiting are huge for us. The national attention that we're getting is really good, and it's just another step in moving in the right direction for Oklahoma State football. I mean,
Does that make it that much more difficult to try and ignore some of those distractions when, like you said, everybody up here is all fired up, and then you've got some other people who are writing attack articles? I mean, you got a lot of things coming at you.
There's a lot of things, but here's the way I look at it is, you're into August, September, third week of November, so we're like 10 or 11 weeks into this, and there can be some fatigue mentally and physically. Bill asked about earlier, because football is a tough game to play. I mean, you run out there in the heat and you get people hit you in the head, and you get hurt and sore and you're bleeding and you're tired, and your coaches put you back out there and say, hey, you got to get it done. So I've been on a number of teams early in my career where at this point in the season we weren't doing very good, and practicing well enough to compete and playing the games like pulling teeth. So I see this as an advantage, that everybody's at least excited about where we're at and what's going on. And so as a coaching staff, I don't see why you should deny that. My approach to the team this week will be, look, guys, here's the deal. Everybody thinks you're good. Here's where you are. You better go practice good. You better show up and be happy where you're at, and let's go get this thing done. I mean, that's going to be my approach versus don't listen to them, don't read the paper, don't go online. I mean, those guys carry phones, and they can do that and look and see what's going on. So I don't think you deny any of it. I think you take advantage of it.
I know that Todd has only been back here as your play caller for 6 games, but you've known him forever. And Fedora gets a head coaching job out of here, and Dana got one. Do you think
I was afraid you were going to bring that up.
You think Todd is destined? You think he's on that same kind of track?
I'm going to try to start a rumor to see if I can not let that happen. I'm tired of hiring coordinators. So he has the ability to be a head coach. Like all of us, there's certain things he needs to work on and clean up and do this and that. But his football intellectual level and his ability to relate to his players and to be able to get them to perform will put him in position to be a head coach.
What does he need to clean up?
Well, I don't know. That's, the word around the country is it should be "thou shalt not judge," but that's just me.
Coach, you mentioned recruiting and how being this high in the BCS helps. Can you talk a little bit about going into Texas back-to-back years, getting wins, getting a win in Lubbock, getting a win at Texas A&M? How much that helps in recruiting the state of Texas specifically, which is huge for Oklahoma State?
Well, it does. I think everybody's aware that because of the sheer population, 354 Division I players a year come out of that state. We have to be there more than anywhere else in the country. You got to go where the numbers are, and for us to win, one, is a huge advantage in recruiting. And two, for us to have success there, where those young men get up and read something online or pick a newspaper up, then they're going to see where Oklahoma State's doing good. So it can only help us. Now, I've said this for the last few weeks, and I go back to it. It's interesting if you look at our team. We got a large number of players on our team that are making plays that are from Oklahoma. And so winning down there is helping us here also. I think the level of football in Oklahoma is getting better. And I think that some of these players are getting a little bit overlooked, which is certainly good for Oklahoma State.
Coach, with that 4 ranking in the BCS, do you think opponents are now going to be gunning a little bit more for Oklahoma State?
Yeah, I think they've been gunning for us for 2 years now. And unfortunately, when you start to win, my guess is that throughout a summer and preseason camp, teams now know who you are. We were in this situation 2 years ago, the Cotton Bowl year, and then last year we kind of flew under the radar a little bit. People didn't think we were going to be any good, so we got away with it for 5 or 6 games. But I think that there's so much out there with the media and social networking that it's hard to get away with that anymore.
Did you see the end of that 49ers Detroit game with the handshake at the end?
I just walked through my assistant Danielle's office going downstairs earlier, and she had it on her TV. She was not working; she was watching TV, and I saw it on there when I walked by.
Your thoughts on it? You ever have anything like that when you go to?
I haven't. I've never felt that way, and I when I watched it, and I've only watched it one time, I haven't slowed it down, run it back, or anything like that. I think you had one coach that was excited and kind of got caught up and was just trying to kind of go through and go on, and the other guy didn't see it that way, and so it got turned into something that was really blown out of proportion. That's just my opinion. Now, I didn't hear it or whatever, but there may be a time that the AFCA limits coaches shaking hands after a game. You shake hands before the game and talk about each other's families and pets and how you doing, and you guys are doing great and good luck and stay healthy, and then you come back out after the game and do it again. So I guess it's kind of just the way it's always been.
Last question.
Good.